everybody, and welcome back to Blade Lab. I'm Void.
And I'm Molly.
We are a Beyblade channel. So this is gonna be a little bit of an explanatory video about this tool that could probably improve your Beyblade skills a little bit. So if you've been around this channel for a while, you've seen this before, you've heard about it. But if you're new, basically what this is an app that reads your shoot power live from the Battle Pass, from this thing, the BeyBattle Pass. Yeah, so this is an Android app that I developed, and we'll get into how to install it, where to get it, all that stuff a little bit later in this video. But let's start with how it works and what it is exactly. So basically, if you don't have one of these, this is a BeyBattle Pass. You connect it to specifically the Japan version of the Beyblade app. But for using this, you don't need the Japan version of the Beyblade app. You don't need any Beyblade app at all. So if for whatever reason you've seen people using the Japan Beyblade app, but it seems too complicated for you, you can use this instead. You don't even need to mess with all of that. So basically, how it works is it connects to the BeyBattle Pass as a Bluetooth device on your phone and reads out the data directly from it onto the screen. And basically the way you get this currently is on our Patreon, which we have a few other things that are going to be on there, but basically this video is about this. So this is what you care about right now. And the reason that it's available on our Patreon and not on just like the Android App Store is that in a certain sense, this could kind of be viewed as hacking the Battle Pass, the BeyBattle Pass, just because you're using it in a way that's not intended, and I'm kind of intercepting the Bluetooth data that would originally go to that app and instead reading it in my own way. So it's probably something that, you know, Hasbro, Takara Tomy wouldn't really look great upon. I don't want it to ever get confused with the actual Beyblade app, and I honestly don't want to get a cease and desist or something from their legal department this early on in our channel. So instead I'm going to be passing it around just as kind of as a custom tool people can mess around with, and that's the same reason that it's not on iPhone currently, because on Android I can just pass around this APK file without having to put it on the App Store, but I can't really do that on iPhone. Now there are some ways you can sort of kind of get around with that I'll experiment with later, so keep an eye out, but for now it's Android only, and that's why, unfortunately. So now I'm going to go through the process of how this app actually functions and how to get it for yourself. So basically, like I said, how you're going to get it is by going to our Patreon. So I'll be showing on the screen live what you do. So basically, it's available on our lowest tier, which currently is $2. Basically, you need to subscribe to that, to the lowest tier of our Patreon. And I mean, if you're just here for the app, you can literally subscribe and then cancel it. Doesn't matter to me. But from there, you need to make sure that your Discord is connected to Patreon. So I'll show where to do that in the settings as well here. But once your Discord is connected to your Patreon account, you can then join our Discord, which is linked in the top of our Patreon and description of this video and basically everywhere. So once you get into our Discord server, if you successfully linked your Patreon, you should have unlocked a channel called Sponsor Resources, and that's where you're going to find this app as well as a bunch of information about it. Basically, the only negative with this app, and another thing that's kind of held me back from putting it on the App Store, is that technically it could lower the battery life of your Battle Pass over time, just like drain your batteries faster is basically what I'm trying to say, because on the normal Beyblade app, it only connects to your BeyBattle Pass for like a few seconds at a time, whereas here it's constantly connected, so over time it can drain your battery faster than it normally would. However, for us in the whole history of our channel, the past month and some that we've been using it, we have not had to replace our batteries a single time, so it's not like it's ridiculous fast draining or anything. Hasn't been any significant negative for us so far, so just keep that in mind, is that's probably why they don't have this as an actual feature on their app. But from there, yeah, you can go ahead and download this APK onto your phone. Like I said, it has to be an Android device for now. Basically go to your downloads on your Android device, however you get there, tap on it, it'll bring it up, and it is going to first tell you, hey, this app is not from the App Store, and it's going to ask if you want to scan it. Of course, go ahead and scan it. There is nothing bad about this application. It doesn't record any of your data, it doesn't connect to the internet, anything like that, but go ahead and scan it as well, as nothing will pop up. Anyways, so when you open it up, it's going to ask for a few permissions. I think it's like Bluetooth permissions and also like a location permission, and that is not by my choice. Unfortunately, on older versions of Android, for whatever reason, as I'm showing on the screen right now, especially from like Android 9 and lower, you need to have location permissions for Bluetooth devices to work. And these little phones that we use right here are Android 9, as well as any other similar devices you'll find out there are normally really old versions of Android, unfortunately. So if you're wondering why it's asking me for location permissions, that's why. However, with that said, like I said, the app does not connect to the internet at all. It does not collect any of your data. I don't want any of your data. You can run various diagnostic programs on the app. Like for example, here I'm showing showing NetGuard, which is showing that, you know, this app doesn't have any network traffic coming to or from it whenever you're using it. Turn your Wi-Fi off, it'll work just fine the same. Yeah, so I know it's a little bit worrisome, but that's the only way that I could do it to account for all versions of Android out there. But yeah, so from there, you just connect your BeyBattle Pass to it, which is really simple. You just hold the big button down on the Battle Pass until it's flashing orange. And then when that happens, once it's flashing orange, you can push the little connect button at the top right of the screen. And then it should stay connected to Beyblade tool if it's successful. If it fails, then just do that step again, and then it will be connected, and you can just do normal launches, then it'll work just fine. And it'll show your shoot power live in real time. There's also a little info button if you want to read those instructions again. The only other thing to keep in mind is that because of the way these were designed, not from anything of my choice, after a few minutes of being idle, they will turn off on their own. After, I think it's like 5 or so minutes, I'm not sure the exact amount of time, but so when that happens, you'll see your number go to 0 and you'll have to reconnect. So that's all, you just have to do the same process again, hold the button down to push the connect button to reconnect, and you'll be back in the game. So that's one thing to keep in mind, that it's probably gonna disconnect on you if you aren't constantly battling. You're gonna have to reconnect it sometimes. There's no really way I can get around that. So like I said, for all those reasons, this is Android only right now for the time being. But if you have an iPhone, there's still plenty of ways you can get your hands on this stuff. Namely, what we're doing right here, which is getting some little phones that you can basically just use for your stadium as permanent readers of your shoot power. Basically, these phones, what I'm showing on the screen right now, these are just literally mini phones that, we didn't put any phone plan on. So they're literally just little phones that we can put apps on, and basically that's all that they are. And I think they're like 45 bucks currently for one of these. There's all kinds of sizes, and basically what you're looking for is just like a prepaid phone or any kind of phone that's not connected to any phone plan. So basically, if you go to like a Walmart or any kind of store, or just on Amazon, if you search for prepaid phone or anything like that, you'll probably find things that are bigger than this, smaller than this, every which size, for like 30, 40 bucks that you can use to run this app off of. And it can just live on your stadium just like ours and be your little training station. That's what we'd recommend anyways. But like I said, a lot of those kind of tiny devices tend to have old versions of Android. This one runs Android 9. We've seen a few other ones run Android 10, so that's why we had to put those extra permissions on there to account for all those old versions that need all kinds of weird permissions, unfortunately. But yeah, so as I mentioned, you can go to the link in the description, go to our Patreon and go download this. Let us know in the Discord if you have any issues with it, any questions, any recommendations for new features you'd like to see me add to this. Check it out. And if for some reason you don't have a BeyBattle Pass yet, go to MallOfToys.com and use code BladeLab. Get a few % off. I will put a link to the description for that too. I think these are like maybe 40 bucks or so. They're really a nice tool to have for when you're trying to improve your skills, get an idea for things. So using these numbers that you get from the app, your launch power, it can, as you're messing around with different launch styles, different angles, it can really help with like your consistency, and like learning the correct way to do it and be consistent with getting good numbers on your string pulls, for example. I think it'll really be eye-opening and surprising to some of you guys when you see how inconsistent some of the launch styles are that you're not used to seeing. A lot of people will pull it up on the Japan app and just kind of pick and choose the good launches and ignore the bad ones that show up on the list. When you can see it in real time, it's a lot more obvious what's going on. So I think there's a lot of insights to be gained. But yeah, so that's gonna do it. Let us know if you guys have any other questions. Thank you to anybody who has already joined the Patreon and gotten in early on this stuff. You'll see their names on the screen right now. Wow, this could be you. Wow, look, you could be like this person. Wow, they're so cool. Wow. Anyway, thanks for watching. But yeah, that'll do it for now. We'll be back very soon. We already have some very cool videos recorded with some actual testing and knowledge stuff. We just need to get this out of the way so that we have something we can point people to whenever they ask questions. Somebody says, what's that little screen with those numbers? We're gonna link them in this video. But actual cool content is coming very, very soon. Promise.
Yes, sir.
We're BladeLab. Subscribe. Be on the lookout for more cool, wacky, interesting things. Thanks for watching.
BladeLab. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.